Hello, this is Mike Gonzalez. Thanks for joining me for another tutorial on the operation of the GBS Broadcaster Software. Now that you've taken a look at some of the other tutorials to see and understand what GBS Broadcasting Software can do, I think now it's time to take a look at all of the pieces that you'll need in order to move from the software to doing everything it takes for other people around the world to see what you're broadcasting. There are a number of pieces that you'll need, and right now let's take a look at some of those other pieces. Let's start with the GBS Broadcaster Software. That's what you've already took the tutorial, learned how to use, and then you'll need something called streaming software or streaming hardware. That's essentially the hardware device that's actually put inside your computer, or they have some that attach to the computer through HDMI cable or outside, some kind of connection. It's a hardware device. What it does, it actually takes the signal from the computer that's delivered to it from the GBS Broadcaster Software. It turns it into something that can be sent over the internet to a streaming company. And you'll see the streaming company later on in the list of things that you'll need to get started. But let's go in this order. The GBS Broadcast Software, some streaming software to actually take your signal, all the stuff that you're trying to get your other viewers or your viewers to watch around the world, it turns it into an internet signal that can be used to send to them. Then you'll need a laptop computer or a desktop computer. Then you'll need an internet connection. And a portable disk drive is always good. The disk drive in your computer can work, but the more you use your computer to stream or to send programming to other places, your storage device becomes important. The computer would work better if it's receiving the content from an other device other than your internal hard drive. Performance of your computer could be improved if you don't put the operating system which needs to run the computer on the same hard drive that you keep all of your media, all of your videos. Now it can work and you might not even notice it, but over a period of time it can put a little bit of a task. It can tax your computer for having everything on one place. But it will work, but it's probably a better practice to get a portable disk drive. And then you'll need a streaming company. They're the people who take your signal, prepare it to be sent to a distribution center so that anybody in the world can get your signal. It can be thought in your imagination that when you're streaming, people around the world will connect directly to your computer to see what you're doing. But your computer and your local internet connection is not strong enough to have 1,000 people connecting to it in order to watch what you're broadcasting. So there are companies that specialize in taking a signal from you and putting it through their system that enables your signal to be distributed to thousands of people around the world, and it prevents you from having to allow people to connect directly to your computer. How about let's take a look at the approximate cost of everything. If you're starting from scratch, you bought the GBS Broadcaster Software and you don't have anything else. This is your dream. You're trying to put together all of the pieces necessary to take all of your wonderful programming and share it with all of the people who think like you, watch the same thing, interested in the same things you are interested in. That's why they're going to watch your channel. Well, an approximate cost, because at the time you're watching this, obviously the price of items go up and down. But the GBS Broadcaster Software Production Edition is $195.95. The streaming software can run from free to a number of products out there that you can get to broadcast absolutely free. The software is designed by companies that have no need to make a profit off of that piece of software, so they supply it free. Or if you need to buy what I mentioned before, a hardware encoder, a piece of equipment that can take your signal, turn it into an internet signal that can be used to broadcast, well, those can range anywhere from $50 to $500 or even higher if necessary. But for your needs, you can use a free one to get started, and I'll talk about that free one probably later on in this lesson. The laptop computer, if you don't have anything at all, budget approximately $1,200 to purchase a laptop computer. It has to have the capability to plug it into an Ethernet port, or it can do Wi-Fi. It's better if you're broadcasting over a long period of time to get a stable connection through an Ethernet. That is a direct connection to your router. Again, if this stuff you don't understand right now because you're absolutely new to this, in a later tutorial perhaps, or do some research on the internet and look up terms like router, R-O-U-T-E-R, and Ethernet, E-T-H-E-R-N-E-T, Ethernet cable, and you'll get a better understanding. But approximately budget $1,200 for the purchase of a laptop. And then an internet connection. They can range from companies who are giving a discount, I don't know, $30 a month. That would be wonderful if you can get something like that. But you need the ability to broadcast out of your home. Most internet connections are built for people who are viewing, so they put the capability to view in a lot of the home-based connections, but you need the capability, the added capacity in an internet connection to send a signal away from your home. And that usually costs a little bit more money because what you're dealing with now is the difference between something called a download speed. That is the capability to pull things into you to watch, like movies or things that you stream for your entertainment and viewing pleasure. And then upload speed. That is the capability of sending stuff away from yourself so that people can watch what you're doing. Approximately $100 a month can probably get you into an adequate internet connection. And then a portable disk drive, budget for approximately $200. Terabyte, 2 terabyte capacity of storage to put all of your video onto that storage drive that plugs that drive into your laptop or your desktop computer. A desktop computer, let me go backwards a little bit. A desktop computer can also cost in the area of around $1,200. So if you do get a desktop computer, get one with the computer itself and 2 monitors. One for you to see how to control things, and then the other monitor is the best capability for connecting to that monitor and then using your internet software, your streaming software, to distribute what you would be able to see on that second monitor. And then finally in this list, a streaming company. There are companies that range in cost from $50 a month to $100 a month. And then, again, this is the company that takes your content that's coming from your computer through your streaming software or your encoding hardware. They will take it, put it through their system so that it can be distributed to companies or all of your viewers around the world. Now, let's say you already have, a computer, you already have an internet connection, and let's see, we can save some costs. Here's an approximate cost for, well, let's go back for a minute. I'm sorry. Let's go back for a minute and look at the approximate cost. The average cost for this scenario where you're having to buy everything is about $200 a month in monthly expenses. You're paying the internet connection, and you're paying the streaming company connection, the expense to connect to that company. One-time purchases could cost around $600 using this scenario. $1,600 using this scenario, and those are the things you have to buy. Once they're bought and paid for, there are no other outgoing expenses other than the monthly upkeep of the services that you need to continue to send your content, the stuff that you broadcast, to other people. And take a look at earnings. Your channel can be supported by donors if you're a non-profit or an organization that your primary job or your primary duties are to support your cause. So you're not necessarily doing this, let's say, for your main interest. So you'd like to support doing this broadcasting by donors. or by daily commercial sponsors, because this can run and operate like a TV station. You can have people who would buy commercials on your channel. So don't just look at it in one light. It's going to cost me money. I got to spend $1,600. Oh my goodness, $200 a month. Well, really, you have the earning capacity to absorb all of that with your station. It can actually generate more than enough income to completely absorb all the costs involved. Now let's take a look at if you already have a computer and how that affects things. You need to buy the GBS Broadcaster Software. You can get a free version of the streaming software that I'll talk about in a few moments. A portable disk drive, I think, is just a good idea for you to do. You're going to need one, so you might as well start out with one. And a $200 purchase could usually take care of that. This is average cost at the time that I'm doing this tutorial video, and prices do go up and down. And the streaming company, I still think you can find one in the area of $100 monthly. So therefore now your costs have gone down quite a bit. Your monthly costs would somewhere be in the neighborhood of $100 monthly, and $400 in one-time purchases. And you still have the capacity to earn enough income with your new channel to completely absorb and take care of all those costs involved. You can get all that back. And now let's take a look at the layout using perhaps a desktop computer. If you have a big monitor, a nice widescreen monitor hooked up to your computer, this is the layout that you'll see. These are some of the pieces that I was talking about earlier in this tutorial. This, if you can see my mouse moving, the big screen here is the GBS Broadcaster Software. Once you crank it up and get it ready to run, it will automatically put this little screen for monitoring. The screen that you see here where my mouse is what you're actually playing. You'll see that, you'll see the time and all of that, and you are familiar with this. If you've taken the tutorials, you have seen this screen before. But when you do crank up the software to broadcast, it automatically generates this small screen. Well, this screen is what this software, it's called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. It is a free software encoder. It will take the video content that you're generating with the GBS Broadcaster. It will look at this little window. It will capture, it will duplicate what it sees in this window, put it in this window, and it has the capability and the instructions inside of it to send it to your streaming software company. I know this is a lot, but whatever you don't understand, back the tutorial up and listen to it again. So the three pieces of software to get this thing pulled all together and send your signal to the rest of the world is the GBS Broadcaster Software. It generates this little output window, and the free encoding software called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, will capture what's in this screen, and you configure this software to send it to your streaming content provider.